I got put in jail in 2001 for taking my pictures, my photographs.
You got put in jail
Yeah,
in
because
Boston?
I was in this chase of taking the photos, and the guys didn't really wanted anybody around. And then, I went up to this one of the ventilation buildings, and when I came down, some guys were waiting for me, and one of the guys asked me. I had my hard hat with the
Big dig on
with
it.
the big dig sticker, and the guy asked me if I worked for the big dig, and I never said anything because I knew I would.
Mhm.
So I just pointed to him.
Mhm.
And he said, "They're waiting for you down the stairs." And when there was a cop, and he handcuffed me, and he put me inside the car, and he wrote a report that I was black.
Yeah.
And yes, and that I was an artist. He did say that, and he's impersonating because I had this hard hat.
Impersonating an employee.
Right, and I I had trespassed the place, but there were no signs for trespassing there, and I had 6 rolls of film. So, actually, my friend Melkin came down and he paid my bail. He got me out of bail. But what was really horrendous was that they gave me criminal charges,
Mm.
and this was not fun. We're talking 2001. The guys knows what they're doing. They knows how they.
Was this before 9/11 or after?
It was right after 9/11 also. But this didn't have to do with 9/11.
I
They
know.
knew who I was. They knew who I was.
Okay, but
And so I proposed that, now that I knew how to photograph all this side, so I had built certain expertise, that I would love to do the big dig, and I asked them to give me a pass. They wouldn't give me one, and Fred Salvucci tried to get me a pass, and they wouldn't give me one. And then I said, I just gotta jump fence and do it. I mean, if I don't do it, nobody's gonna do it. And I made it now my lifestyle to get up in the mornings and go photograph all day into this big dig. And because it was so huge, I also had to spend a lot of days really looking and watching at the place. So I really got to see how the place was constructed. And I used to have a little car, Mazda, with the plates 291 WBZ, and that were really nice sometimes because the guys thought I was from WBZ, so they gave me access. But then others were really, really afraid. But what was really wonderful was that I had a guy who, the guys were always very nice. They would give me mittens during the winter. They would give me a special hat, sunglasses, safety glasses. And one gave me a sticker for the big dig so I could run around and have free reign. And, I went around this big dig for 3 years, day and night. I mean, I was just all over the place. But I just liked it.
what years were those? Was that?
From 97, 98 to 2001, I was just going. I mean, I just love hanging around the place. It was because the whole thing just changes. So today you look at something and then you see, oh, this new guy has this other thing that he's doing, and they're connecting it to this other stuff, and then you have to wait for this other truck that's supposed to bring all these things, and these other guys are working with another kind of tool. It's a very, very complex world when you put it all together, but it's really very simple when you look at it piece by piece.
It helped that you were a woman, and they.
Of course, it definitely helped, I'm sure. And also because, I was really wholeheartedly interested in what I was doing. I mean, to me, it was exciting to know every day what was the new process and what kind of tools. And it was my scientific and very artistic mind coming together. I used my Mamiya camera. I used the Mamiya. Most of that project was done with the Mamiya 6x7 negative. So it's really nice because it can always be expanded. Almost playing cowboys and Indians, and I would squirrel up and down the tunnels. I had permission to go up to the bridge because Al MacPhail,
This was the
Zakin
Zakin
Bridge. Al MacPhail, one of the architects of the bridge, let me take photos of the bridge, and so I got to capture the entire archive of the bridge since the very beginning, and that was one of the most exciting things, just to see how this bridge became. It was like magic, you see every time, and the highest cable stayed bridge in the world, and it's
cable
state, STAYED, state bridge. In the world.
stayed. Okay.
So that pushed me. That's why I call it a blessing. it pushed me to think of ways of using those images. And and the way I decided to use the images were to do collage work with them. And so now I'm pushing the boundaries of collage. And I did a whole piece on the construction of the bridge, which is called Golden Apples, and I will give you a slide of that one. That shows the different constructions of the bridge. And I take the photographs, and usually I work with them on boards, and I do repro prints, and I coat them with mixed media, many layers, and I use materials such as wood, string, wire, different colors, and they just metaphor the process of construction. So I layer all those materials as if I was constructing that particular site. And it's very exciting, because then you start reflecting back when you took that photograph on what it looked like and what it was like. And this is one of the most incredible ones, because I done 4 of those. This is my 4th one. I sold all of them. And this is my most famous picture, but you can see it there, and I call this one Guys with Rose-Colored Eyes, and I haven't put the rose-colored eyes on them. But the photograph gives us a clear record, a document, and then the painting enhances.
So what are they doing here?
Well, they're building the tunnels.
But they're slung between two.
One of the tunnels, building the tunnels is really exciting, because do I have that picture? This is just one tiny little section of how a tunnel is built. You got to think about a football field, and then they bring on this. They lay down some foundation, and then they start bringing on the rebarbs.
So that's what you use to create the painting.
Yes, I start from this.
Wild.
The Federal Reserve Building. This is the 4-point channel. These are the casting basins. So you can see the size of that project when you look at behind what's happening within the landscape of the city, and we get a good picture of the machines at the time.
And this little area here is where you did the photograph of the men hanging between two pieces of wire.
Exactly. Memory, psychologist memory. Materials that were carrying to the bridge.
So you have, this is a collage.
Yes.
And you have
I worked on a photograph.
copper and
Yeah, I use the wire as a copper, as the copper wire as a line, and then there's pieces of cloth, and it has several layers of oil.
And this is the Zaka Bridge. Maybe.
Yes, this is one of the towers, and you can see all the components of that bridge. It's like Martha Graham says, if you don't use that energy, then it will be gone forever. And I feel that that's exactly what I've done in my life. I really have used my energy, whether to create, computer systems, or to create little knowledge systems that I make, or this art, or my photography, or the painting, or the little writing that I do. The things that I do, I always somehow I feel very passionate, and I give it all my most.